These signs are electronic.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead and get started. Start with our invocation.
Creator God, thank you for this time together this evening, for the members of this commission, for the city staff, and for the department heads who all dedicate their lives in service and in leading this community. Lord, be with them, watch over them, keep them safe. And tonight, Lord, may they be guided by your Holy Spirit in the work and the discussions they have ahead of them. We ask and we pray all of this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any changes to the agenda? No.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second. There's been a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. It's now time for public comments. This is the time where citizens are encouraged to speak publicly. We request that you come to the podium and state your name and address, speak respectfully, and limit the comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments? We'll move on to action agenda, the minutes of the February 18th, 2026 meeting. I had just a question on them. Normally, do we put what we discussed in study session on minutes?
We have not in the past. This time I asked for that to be put in there, included this time.
Right. Sounds good.
I move to approve the minutes of February 18th, 2026.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Appropriation ordinance number 4.
I had a couple questions on that, just curious of what they were. There was a thermostat that was purchased from HD Industries. Any of them's not here, so maybe not a good night, but I wondered if.
I just asked that about that. It was streets.
That's for me. Yeah, that was, that's for the patch truck. Our thermostat went out.
In the truck, okay.
Yeah, oh, in the box for the, patcher, yeah.
Oh, okay. And there was, engraving, that was also a little more substantial one. Type of engraving. I had it circled, but it disappeared. Let me see where it's at.
That may have been for Jamie Moore, his retirement plaque.
Axe plaque. Eagle engraving.
Okay, okay. Awesome. I move to approve appropriation ordinance number 4.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to condemnation of 311 West 2nd Street.
Good evening. So today I'm bringing to you approval of a resolution for public hearing for condemnation. The attached resolution 2026, 22, 23, 22, 24, 22, 25. My initial findings and counted conditions report are required to start the condemnation process for these 3 properties. These resolutions set a public hearing date for this action. The resolution is required to be officially published 2 times, a week apart, and then 30 days after the last publication. The public hearing can take place. This puts the public hearing on the city commission meeting agenda for April 29th. On the first one, 2026, 2020, 22, 23, 311 West 2nd Street, there was fire damage. I've spoken with the owner and they are starting to demo. I've sent them demo application and the demo program application. I have not heard back from them yet. We do have the proceeds check for insurance, supposed to be in the mail. That's all.
So it's supposed to be in the mail, like, not received yet, or?
Yeah, not received yet. I was just told that it was in the mail on the way.
I move to approve the resolution number 2026-2223 for the condemnation of 311 West Second Street.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to 321 East 12th.
321 East 12th was also a fire damage. We do have the insurance proceeds on that one. Have spoken with the owner. They do want to demo that one also. Same thing with the last one. I have sent them applications for demo program and the demo permit. Have not received those back yet. And like I said, we do have the insurance proceeds in office.
I move to approve resolution 2026-2224 for the condemnation of 321 East 12th Street.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to 424 East First.
424 East First, that one's unoccupied, no utilities, dilapidated, and there's animals moving in and out freely. That one was we had, I guess, an issue with the resident. They are no longer in that house, and yeah, I moved to have that one.
That's the one that has the car under the, yeah,
Yes, yes, it is.
and that's just been abandoned then? Is that the-
So from my understanding, the resident has been placed in a nursing home.
Okay, okay.
I appreciate the pictures. They're
Yeah,
pretty thorough and make it very obvious of the need.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I wondered about this one with the car when I drove by it.
Right. I move to approve resolution number 2026-2225 for the condemnation of 424 East First Street.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further, and I'll give the second to Marcia. Is there any further discussion?
The only question I would have is if the individual has been moved to a nursing home, is there any, I guess the process of the condemnation will bring this out, and any next of kin or anyone that could be able to help secure the person?
Yeah, so there was actually like, I think 3 people on that deed, and I've sent them those letters to each one.
Sure, good.
So that would give them an opportunity to remove some of the personal belongings.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. I
Okay.
wouldn't just go in and pick it up.
okay, good. I mean, it's the only one that looks like there might be stuff that
Right.
somebody might want.
Right, and there's actually a non-conforming addition on that one.
Oh.
I'm not sure why it was ever permitted, but
May have been added before that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it might have been added beforehand too. so.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
And all these resolutions do is set the date for the public hearing too, so if there are owners that wanna come forward, they'll be able to come forward up to and including that public hearing date, and just make their case.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, managers reports.
Mayor Commissioners have been doing a lot of work on our housing project, trying to advance that forward over the last couple of weeks, as well as a lot of work with Cloud Corp, working with them to advance projects. I really don't have any other publicly available details at this time, so but happy to answer any other questions.
Questions? We'll move on to staff reports.
Okay, some updates. The Sleep Club status report. Concrete was poured on the north side. There'll be saw cutting and sealing. That'll take place this Friday. And then potentially next week, the permanent striping will be applied. Then shortly after that, the highway will be reopened for full service to the public. So that's good news. See, parts have been ordered for the traffic light, to replace the pedestrian light crossings and And lower traffic light and audible buttons that were hit during the project. That's 6 that a vehicle had hit it, so we're actively working to get those replaced too. Planter boxes, are underway for reconstruction. And I applied for that innovative technology grant, and I haven't heard anything yet. I checked with KDOT today, and they said it's in front of the governor, but she hasn't seen it or yet, or hasn't made any kind of determination, so that's all I had. You guys have any questions for me?
Should do.
I noticed over the last week and a half, a little smokier around town. We've been trying to do our control burns. We do have a few on our schedule still if we're able to get to them. We'll see. We got a few new people that it's perfect time to do some training with. The only issue is we're short some full timers, and we got one that's out with an injury. So you might also notice there's a bit more overtime showing up right now. Hopefully he'll be back to work, I think another 5 to 6 weeks.
Thank you.
Just real quick, tomorrow we'll be finishing up in the middle school doing some phone safety talks. Those have been going pretty well. Now that the middle or the elementary schools now asked us to kind of gear something around 3rd and 4th graders because we're having some issues there. So we're trying to figure out how we can take that information and really didact some of it and not scare 3rd and 4th graders. But so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we're going to be working in the schools still with updating them on education on the phones and stuff. Animal control, we seized 14 puppies the other day. They were king course dogs. We got all of them are gone, but 3 of them. So Manhattan and Clay Center and some other pounds have actually wanted them. So we feel happy that we only have 3 left. So other than that, just day-to-day business.
Any other staff reports? Any mayor commissioner comments and reports?
I have a question. How do we determine who pays franchise fees to the city, and how do we determine the amount?
So that's usually, grounded in state statute. There's rules and regs that we have to follow there. It's usually private utility companies, and there's a cap of 5% on the franchise fees of what they can pay. We have not updated our franchise agreements in several years, and that's because a couple of them are already at that maximum of 5%.
So do they pay a fee if they use our easements, or?
It's based on the volume of sales. So if, let's say Kansas Gas or Cunningham, for example, they have those franchise agreements, whatever volume of dollars they charge to their customers, 5% of that comes back to us to pay for the use of our right of way.
So they really have to be using our right of way to assign them that franchise. Yes. Okay. I've noticed the next link, is it called, people around, and I thought, I wonder if they're like counting them.
I'm not really familiar with them, so I don't know for sure if they're staying in right away or they're.
Yeah.
It's an entirely mobile service, and there's not an infrastructure being utilized.
Yeah, so then they probably just have towers then, so if
Right.
if they're not in our right of way with wires and poles, then they would not.
And is someone or something living in this building next door? I noticed almost all the upper windows are broken. There was only one.
Yeah, so the other day when that storm came through, the lightning hit a tree in the courthouse and actually blew all those windows out. And then across the street, I think it's a Heartland. Yeah, it broke their front doors out as well. And of course, we had alarms going off everywhere in town, but you can see where it went down the tree, hit the ground, and kind of blew up took the earth and blew it up. But it was a lightning strike that did all that.
Was that one big boom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So one boom's been identified.
Yes, well, the other was Quick, wasn't it?
No boom.
Getting closer.
So we are trying to get working, closer with everybody, trying to get a hold of the owner. We're having a hard time getting a hold of the owner because he lives in, Oklahoma. We've left several messages. So we're trying to track him down currently.
And I plan on going over tomorrow when it gets a little nicer and cleaning all the glass up, so.
Appreciate that.
Well, there has been one broken out anyway, but I noticed today when I drove by, I've been in Oklahoma. Stupid.
You could have just talked to him.
Don't,
Okay,
that's
no,
all.
with no other reports, do I have a motion to adjourn for study session?
Second.
For a motion and a second, any further discussion? And then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We are now in study session.
Apologize for not being here last time. My daughter was sick for 2.5 days straight, throwing up. Almost 2.5 days straight. So I report over 2025. We'll start with the recreation department. You know, our goal there is for every program, but department as a whole is continuing to increase participation, the enjoyment, inclusion, everything, the kids, to where it's an enjoyable experience and they keep coming back every year. That's the only really way you can grow your program as a whole. Last year, we did see an uptick in overall program numbers. I didn't go to break down to every sport, but it was overall an increase in our registrations. What's helped that over the past few years too, that was mainly Concordia, but we've also started including Clyde, Belleville, Pike Valley into several of our programs. Soccer, volleyball, flag football, they always bring teams in that go straight to our budget and everything like that. So those are continuing to grow. Like I said, last year was a good number of registration numbers overall. Adult programs and even the youth programs, they always vary a little bit, but overall they've been increasing. Adult programs has kind of been staying steady for all of our same volleyball, women's volleyball, and then the basketball leagues. The number of teams have been pretty steady overall. We've been a little bit more flexible with subs just because schedules are crazy, and I understand that, and so a lot more teams bring in more subs throughout the year, which is no problem. So I think our pool of participants is growing, but teams are kind of staying the same. So yeah, I think we had a good year in recreation last year. The sports complex, we've been doing a lot of improvements. I talked about them a couple meetings ago. Pee-wee lights are still in progress. I think all the hoods work for mounting the lights, conduit, and everything like that is done and ready. I think they're ready to start swapping. I was informed on Friday actually that Prairie Land is down anywhere from 4 to 6 bigger trucks right now with different problems. So their timeline has been delayed a little bit till they get their trucks back. Both the Concordia trucks are down. But it's waiting for them to start swapping posts. Weather hasn't helped any either because we don't want to leave big ruts and everything else like that, and to be able to get into where they are. But that is still ongoing. You may have noticed the parking lot lights, we got them up. I think they look pretty good. I've been out there a couple times at night, and we'll kind of gauge on the power usage and stuff like that. They are solar, but there are some different settings on that we're gonna keep playing with and seeing what they are. But I think they've done a pretty good job. So another one we're improving on is the walkway lights. So from the parking lot east to the big fields, we're going to be including 5 walkway lights there as well. They get pretty dark back when we get to those fields, so they'll be facing south on that walkway. Won't be as tall, a little bit more kind of like the city park lights, sidewalk lights. So we got those ready to go. We're just waiting for some weather and some better conditions to start pouring the footings and get those mounted. The electrical transformers, they were out there again today. The big fields are almost ready to be connected and turned back on. They got a couple more things to do to the secondary line.
And then when I left out there this afternoon, he was working on the south 2 fields. So those are real close. His goal was the 10th to have all that electrical done. I think they'll meet that goal with the transformers and everything like that. This year, after all this is said and done, everything will get like that. But also the batting cages, once the building is kind of a little bit more further along, we finished up those 2 batting cages. The one we had to move, and then constructing the double batting cage there. Everything's ready to go there as well, so just need the construction crew to clear out a little more space before we get in our way. But after all that's said and done this year, we're going to continue to look to try to add more concrete to especially the seating areas, both Pee Wee and the large side, the big field sides. But we'll see what we have left in the budget and how much we can do. On the pool, I just found out this afternoon that some of our pool maintenance is coming early this year. We are in the process of changing some shade structures from the wooden slats to a tarp of the awning shade structures. We had 2 of them last year, but all of them will be that this year. Those wooden slats continue to fall and always replacing, so we'll be going to those tarps that we can take down every year and have a lot better clean look. Last year we did a lot of plumbing fixtures, especially in the bathrooms and on the outside of the pump house. We had a bunch of major renovation there with some broken pipes. But they worked on a lot of that last year. Like I said, this afternoon I found out the guys found a bunch of water in the office. That flat roof and then above the office and front entry is toast. There's probably 5, 6 at least spots where it's leaking. I don't know how much electrical I've lost yet, camera system, stuff like that. I don't think it hit the camera box, but no, it hit the little TV monitor, little stuff like that. But we've talked to guys who are just trying to get an estimate and see where we go with that. But that's something I'll probably be coming back to you in the next meeting or 2 to address. But it's probably gonna need a whole new roof, not just the cover, not just the top layer. Probably gonna need a whole new roof because everything's soaked. And he tore down one of the planks to look up in kind of up in the top, and it's all ate up with what I'm guessing to be carpenter ants right now. We don't have any I don't know, see how termites can go 8 foot of brick from the ground, and everything else is brick. So we're guessing carpenter ant, but I don't know for sure. But it's a lot of stuff's chewed up.
You have a
Yeah,
rotation
so-
where you're checking that roof, or
What's that?
have you had a rotation where you're checking that roof? It seems like
Just
that.
the top layer.
Okay.
I mean, the rafters on, especially on there, are all sealed.
Mhm.
But I know last year we were up on the roof a lot, and
Mhm.
it's that hard type of material.
Membrane.
Yeah. And when Trask was up there today, he said there's a bunch of circles in there that basically look like hail damage.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll know more right after tomorrow, but yeah, we haven't had any water damage that we've seen up until now. So and the way it's sunken in, that water can't get out of the top drains. So yeah, I think it's just kind of sagged earlier without really knowing about it. I did put up some numbers on the pool for memberships and overall attendance. Last year, we did see a drop of attendance by about 1,500 people in the door. But there was we remember last year we increased the front gate fee too. So overall numbers, money wise, was a positive. Don't really have an answer why it was dropping attendance. There's more shifts open through the front desk, so just kind of one of those things where it fluctuates a little bit. We actually had more memberships applied for and filled out by 3 actually. So memberships have been staying steady. So it's just kind of one of those years where weather probably played a factor. I know we stayed open some pretty chilly days early. So I mean, some of those factors, but we did have a little bit drop of attendance there. In the parks, we're gonna continue to do maintenance. We're looking at a few different projects. If you know, at Hood Park, for one example, there's the wooden 2x12 signs. I've been wanting for several years, started replacing some of those with some of the stone signs that we've had at the ball fields and in the city park. So I've been talking to Leduc Memorial about trying to come up with a design. We'll see where those budget numbers come from and see where, how many we can do. But I would like to start upgrading some of those signs from the old 2x12 slats. The Hood Park tennis court lighting is it's on the CIP list. I do have a quote that can replace those. Probably have to get a little more. We're creative on finding some other funding for that. But that is on one of the projects on the list for this year that I want to address. The surfacing of Hood Park, tennis courts especially, it's gonna need a bigger overhaul. But the lighting project shouldn't affect that because the lights will be moved to the outside instead of being on the interior of the fence. So, but that's something we are continuing to look at. We did have a lot more shelter house reservations last year. So that was good. And then I wanted to bring up the s'mores and movie night again because our park staff really likes hosting that one too. So it's a lot of fun for a night that we get to be out there with the public. A couple more other things, the cemetery, the department, we are, and I think I've brought this up before, but we're turning in one of those buildings next to the entryway into a visitor center. So it's a little bit more enclosed, protected. It's gonna have some cleaner things. I'm working with Campbell and Johnson. As soon as he's done with the highway project, that he has to be out there all day long. But he's gonna be upgrading our maps to make it more, hopefully color coded, easier to read, and easier to find, especially certain specific locations. And then, I've got printouts and everything like that, so we can do our books. But the guys did a great job with that. Not quite done yet, but, really kind of detailed that inside that building to make it a lot nicer. So we'll be doing some signage on the outside as well, once we get it all opened up. Then we're just kind of continuing to try to find ways to ease the maintenance of the cemetery. One of the main thing is we'll be trying a growth inhibitor this year, which hopefully helps with the hills around the stones. It slows it down throughout the month of June and July. So we're gonna be trying that out in different areas. And the last thing I got, airport campground. I know I brought up before, we had a map that we've been tracking visitors. Anybody want to care to guess how many visitors we had last year? And these are the ones that actually filled out a card and donation, but
How many did we have 2 years ago?
shoot, I didn't have that number. I don't have that.
1,000, I'm gonna guess.
I think we only started tracking the overall, well, we started tracking locations last February, I think it was. I'm sure Stacy had the total numbers, and I'm sure Amber could look up the total amount, but we had 542 visitors last year that come through there since February to December. Which I don't know if that's good or bad, but I thought it was kind of interesting. And that total amount on those 542 visitors total of $17,566 in donations. So average about a little over $30 a person that per donation. So pretty decent amount. So that's great. But I thought that was interesting, and then I haven't had a chance here in a while to update our map, but I'll share a picture of you when I say get some more pins in the map. And then the last thing out there on the disc golf course, there's a bunch of culverts that we'll be working on this year that have been broken out. We're gonna work on some bridge systems, just crossing those ditches for the disc golf course. So any questions on any of that? That's all I got.
I had two things I thought of where, some cemeteries there's a platform that you can use online and you can find your loved ones and like go right to like GPS and find them in that cemetery. I have no idea how much it costs. It might not, it might be cost prohibitive, but,
There is a salesperson that's been hounding me.
well, there's multiple, I think there's multiple
Yeah, I know,
ones.
there.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's something that would be well received or not, but I learned about it a long time ago.
Yeah,
Um,
I know our system, in which before Stacy left, we actually met with a new GIS. You in here with that, Shane?
Yeah, I think so.
We met with a new GIS person, but they never really amounted to something, so I thought we were kind of going to get away from the one we have now, which is not very user friendly, especially for the cemetery. For the public side of the website, it's kind of hard to follow, but we do have that people can use, and some people do use. The interactive part of it, where I don't know if it will transfer to your GPS and take you by foot, but it'll show you can easily search and find out where the ones are located. But that is on our website already.
Not done that. Okay. I'll check it out, just because I'm curious now. And I haven't found Frank Carlson yet, so I know he's there, right? I don't know, like people say you can see it from the street, but I haven't like looked really hard.
I don't know. Aaron's off the top of my head, he probably knows
Oh, probably.
so many where those, you give him a name, he's like, yeah, I know where it's at.
And are we still using Razor Field for T-ball?
Mhm.
That one?
Correct.
I mean, just over the winter, it looks like it's had, or probably not winter, but there's a lot of burrowing. And
Every year, yeah.
critter.
And
Probably rabbits.
they're mainly ground squirrels. We do have some gophers over there, but our gophers are actually by the peewee batting cages.
Rabbits made it different.
Hey, they are far, they've come some distance, noticed them.
But every year, every fall, like right before the winter storms last year, we did a lot of bait, smoking traps, stuff like that we do have to do every year. But most of those burrowing routes are ground squirrels.
is there
They're all over the place, and I have not found a way to control
I might have an idea.
them. We've used poison, we've used smoke, we've used.
Well, there's
elements.
products that you can put down for like burrowing. I would imagine these for moles, ground squirrels, rabbits, burrowing animals that you apply. I would imagine it would need to be watered in, but,
There is a fertilizer,
well, it's a deterrent for those animals, but if that would help just at least during the season while like kids are playing out there, maybe.
both herbivore and carnivore burrowers. Some of them eat the roots, and you have to attack them differently than the ones that are eating grubs and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, not growth.
No.
There are others, but I'm not,
Yeah.
I just was thinking maybe that would be a potential option. If you could find a product that would work there. Just for the season so that people don't, I mean, just because they're playing on that field.
Yeah.
And there are no more tonight. All right, we're done. Thanks, everybody.
They also want the game.
And it's